Kentucky should be NCAA tournament teams. Chance to bolster their resumes here in Athens.
Yeah, at this point, it looks like the SEC is going to get 14 out of 15 teams into the tournament, unless Missouri, who has a sub-500 record, wins the tournament. UK and Georgia are in that mix, just trying to gain momentum into the postseason.
So Georgia, the home team, opens the tournament with Lily Backus, the left-handed pitcher from down the road in Peachtree City. And this SEC Tournament 2025 is officially underway on a sparkling, sunny, beautiful Tuesday afternoon with ball one to Allie Blum. The Kentucky Wildcats 29-25. The Georgia Bulldogs 30-19. These are two teams that have tons of recent success. Historically, they're often in the Super Regionals. Kentucky with a World Series berth under Rachel Lawson. Georgia's been there a few times, but this is already an example of the intense, insane depth of this league, that this is a 12-13 game. And Georgia playing on its home field, hoping for a little postseason magic in the month of May. 2-2 now for Allie Blum as we look at the Kentucky lineup. Wildcats just 7-17 in SEC play. Second lowest scoring team in league play, but tied for 7th in home runs. And Peyton Plotz on deck is their big bat. Back is 2-2. And a ground ball smoked into left field. The freshman Allie Blum leads off her first SEC tournament with a hit. So here's the big bat in the lineup, Amanda. Peyton Plotz, a Lexington native. Kentucky's lost some huge hitters the last couple of years. Kayla Kowalik, Erin Koffel, and they're hoping Peyton Plotz can be the next great Wildcat.
Absolutely, and Rachel Lawson said that to begin the season, of just such high expectations from her after her freshman year. Can she be the next great Wildcat at Kentucky?
The daughter of two Kentucky athletes, Peyton Plotz, and there is her head coach, Rachel Lawson, in year 18 in Lexington. Plotz grounds a ball foul, and it's 0-2. Been a huge step forward for Peyton Plotz this season, just about doubling her home run and RBI totals. And it's been an inconsistent Kentucky team. It's a very, very young team. Only two seniors in the Wildcats starting lineup today. For Kentucky to make some noise in this tournament, Amanda, Peyton Plotz, obviously a big hitter. What else do the Wildcats need to do?
I think it really relies on the top of their order, with Plotz and Borzilleri on deck, as well as Hutchins. That, to me, is where they get the bulk of their production. And then for them defensively, just trying to play clean defense. The defensive fielding percentage is where they've struggled this year, but they can make great plays with all the young talent that they have in the field.
Plotz chases one for strike three, the first out of the game for Lily Backus on a K.
And this Lily Backus rise ball is a pitch that she's going to want Kentucky to chase out of the zone, like Peyton Plotz, expanding her strike zone majorly and helping out Backus. Her curveball is going to be her go-to pitch. At about 36% of the time she'll throw it. Her changeup is her best pitch. Her rise ball can be that strikeout pitch you just saw.
That's the inside edge to Lauren Borzilleri, Kentucky's #3 hitter. Borzilleri, the junior, has started every game at first base for the Cats this year. And takes a changeup in the dirt. Picked by the Georgia catcher, Marissa Miller.
Lauren Borzilleri is a coach's kid. Can play every position out on the field. You can put her anywhere in the lineup. A reliable player for Kentucky.
Borzilleri gets under this one to pretty deep left, but just shy of the warning track for Jaden Goodwin, and the second out.
You see how aggressive already in this game Kentucky is being at pitches more up in the zone, letting anything down go with her changeup. Backus wants you to chase both her rise ball out of the zone, and she wants you to chase that changeup in the dirt. But Kentucky proving already they're going to make her throw that changeup through the zone.
Sophomore Allie Hutchins is the cleanup hitter today. And Hutchins takes a strike Called by Cameron Ellison, who has the plate in game one. Marty Absesian down at first. Bobby DeMeo is the third base umpire, who currently stands behind second with a runner at first.
Lily Backus started out this at-bat to Allie Hutchins, throwing a curveball about belt high inside to her. That's a pitch she's establishing early in this game, a pitch that Tony Baldwin, their head coach at Georgia, said that she has to have. There it is again. So 2 times throwing that curveball about belt high and getting about a ball off of the plate to get the strike call. That's a pitch that throughout the season has been a little bit too low. That's the spot that he wants it.
Off speed, grounded to first. And the out for Emma Castori will send the Georgia Bulldogs to the plate. Year 4 for Tony Baldwin as the Georgia head coach. His Bulldogs, the 9th highest scoring team in SEC play. Good base stealing team as well, with Dallas Goodnight leading it off. And Jaden Goodwin, who's got speed, who's got power, a former slapper who's made herself into an all SEC caliber player. That Georgia team will take on Carson Fall. A little bit of a surprising start for the freshmen to get the ball to begin this tournament.
Yeah, Kentucky has a couple of freshmen on their pitching staff, and one of which is Carson Fall. Her first ever SEC tournament game. She's getting to pitch in and to face the home team, the Georgia Dogs.
A lot of red in the crowd today for Georgia, kicking off the tournament at home. And Fall kicks it up. 67-mile-per-hour ball one to Dallas Goodnight. One more chance for these seniors to lace it up, take the dirt here at beautiful Jack Turner Stadium, and it's been a good year for Goodnight. It was in a 1-1 count. One of 3 left-handers in the first 5 spots for a pretty balanced Georgia team. Georgia team that lost a ton from last year. And they slipped to the 12th seed in the SEC, but they are a very talented group. Ball. This is the lowest seed Georgia's ever been in the SEC tournament. They were an 11 seed in 2021, and if Tony Baldwin wants a little motivation, that team went from an 11 seed in the SEC tournament all the way to the Women's College World Series.
I think he would take that motivation to tell his team. That sounds like something he would tell them.
Goodnight with a ground ball through the right side. And the super speedy senior is on with a base hit.
Carson Fall has actually thrown her changeup the most this year, mixed alongside her rise ball and her curve ball. Curve ball is going to be one of her go-to pitches.
And we're going to get an immediate meeting between Tony Baldwin and his team offensively as the Kentucky players surround Carson Fall in the circle. Tony Baldwin, who took over for a longtime head coach here, Lou Harris-Champer, after she led Georgia to the World Series and then kind of sneaky retired on us after Georgia was knocked out of that World Series. Remember, we were there. We knew it would be Mike Andrea's final year potentially. There was a lot of speculation about that. And then he was one of 2 coaches to retire that year, Lou Harris-Champer. Tony Baldwin, former assistant coach here, terrific coach of hitters, has taken the job, hoping to lead Georgia back deep into the postseason this year. He's got Tyler Ellison, the second baseman, in the number 2 hole. Ball.
I think with this curveball that Carson Fall is going to want to establish her early in the game, she is going to see how low she can get that pitch. You can tell a little bit frustrated with not getting a couple of calls already. That curveball looking like it just is falling off the table a little bit too much. Going to have to bring it up a little bit, but you have to be careful against Georgia's hitters.
Here goes Goodnight, and an easy steal of second. That's her 27th of the year.
Dallas Goodnight has just gotten faster and faster and faster in her career. Got a great jump, goes in hard. The throw was offline, but she was going to beat it anyway. That jump was just perfect, and her speed is unmatched this year.
She's at second for 1-2. way overthrown to Tyler Ellison. Freshman Carson Fall with more walks than strikeouts this year. 59 of the former 54 of the latter. And a ground ball right back to her. Fall hesitated before going to third. And the throw wasn't caught by Allie Hutchins anyway. Kentucky has struggled defensively this year, and an early mistake puts runners at the corners.
This is all speed of Dallas Goodnight. I mean, Carson Fall was a little bit slow to get rid of it, but even if Allie Hutchins would have caught it at third base, she would have been safe by a mile. Getting her foot in, the tag would have been late. Dallas Goodnight is all speed. Remember, she got to second base because she stole. She saw that ball down immediately, no hesitation. She is headed for third to get 60 feet closer to scoring, and Kentucky did not get an out.
Scored a fielder's choice. Rachel Lawson made an early visit, try to settle down her freshman pitcher. So Georgia in a position to strike right from the get-go, and the Kentucky native Jaden Goodwin will try to do damage against the Wildcats. Goodwin squares to bunt. Ellison will take second. No throw through, largely because of the speed of Goodnight on the back end.
And no surprise, Georgia is going to go ahead and try to take second base, move another runner into scoring position, put more pressure on this Kentucky defense that's been suspect at times this season.
Well, you got Georgia, who had the second most steals in conference play, and Kentucky, the worst defensive team in the SEC. So there are elements here for Georgia to create offense with speed and chaos, which they've done in just the first 11 pitches. Goodwin, a team leading 10 home runs on the year. Lines a ball hard into right center. On one hop to the base of the wall, Jaden Goodwin slides in with a 2-run double for the first runs of the tournament.
Jaden Goodwin is always looking to hit. Tony Baldwin loves having her in the 3-hole because she is aggressive. She wants to be up with runners in scoring position. Look at her go down and get that pitch. That is not an easy pitch to barrel up, but you could tell she was looking for it. Slightly stepped across her body, got her barrel there, and drove in 2 runs to score the first 2 runs of the SEC tournament.
And Carson Falls' SEC tournament debut lasts just 12 pitches. Sarah Hendiges coming on to try to save this first. A single, a steal, an advancement on a fielder's choice, and a run scored for Dallas Goodnight. Great start for Georgia. They knocked Carson Fall out of the game after 12 pitches, and the Oregon State transfer Sarah Hendiges will take over.
Sarah Hendiges has a lot of experience coming from Oregon State. Going to rely a lot on her changeup at 33% of the time, her curveball, and also her drop. So mixing that changeup in the absolute most.
Let's go back to that 2-run double, Amanda, by Jaden Goodwin.
Look at her slightly step across her body. Her right foot is actually on the line to be able to get to that low and outside pitch, and her posture to be able to get her barrel down to that pitch. I mean, that ball was smoked. A line drive off of her bat, a low line drive because that pitch was low in the zone. A couple of RBIs for Goodwin, who likes to swing early in the count.
Let's see if Georgia can shift gears now against Hendiges, who's been the Wildcats' best pitcher. Sarah Gordon takes one a little up. Gordon, an SEC tournament hero a year ago. And a walk-off home run for Georgia in their 14-inning epic win over Auburn. And it's had a really nice second year in Athens. Leads a team with 46 RBIs. Second best slugging percentage at .599.
Well, that's not.
Georgia lost a lot from last year, but when you look at this lineup, particularly the top 5 or so, they can go toe-to-toe with a lot of teams. Very dangerous team somebody's going to draw in a regional, and on their home diamond, they're hoping they can be a dangerous team. Play a little spoiler this week. 3-2 now for Gordon.
And Sarah Gordon's progression this year from her sophomore year when she transferred over from Louisville has been just a great addition of power for Georgia. Kind of what they expected likely to get from her last year after a stellar freshman year.
Ball smoked out of play.
Her freshman year, she ACC Freshman of the Year, had 49 RBIs, 11 home runs, and then that fall off when she transferred here. But picking it up this season in terms of batting average, back to that RBI production, and just about the same number of home runs from that great freshman year.
And a beautiful off-speed pitch by Sarah Hendiges records the first out.
Okay, this is exactly what Kentucky needed. A veteran to come in and get a strikeout against one of the best hitters in the Georgia lineup. This is her changeup, the pitch that she goes to the most, throws it through the zone, and it falls off the table. Sarah Gordon way out in front of that pitch.
Lindy Ray Davis, very patient Georgia hitter, takes strike 1. Davis is the Dogs' on-base leader. Averages .271. On-base percentage .463. Oh, that changeup right at the bottom of Cameron Ellison's strike zone. Davis will step out.
Well, Lindy Ray Davis is tall, too. So that pitch was low in the zone, and she's got those long legs. Makes her strike zone be a little bit lower.
5'11" senior who finds herself in an 0-2 hole. One-two from Hendiges. Is way up and away.
Yeah, when Coach Lawson talks about Sarah Hendiges, she talks about her old school competitiveness, and it's what makes her great. Being able to throw that changeup quite a bit, that competitive mentality. Good take there by Lindy Ray Davis to let that changeup just go into the dirt, but it's that toughness, that competitiveness that she's able to bring her in a relief role. She's been used in relief a lot. I mean, oftentimes not in the first inning, but later in games, very comfortable.
Davis slows her bat down. Another 3-2 changeup. Goodwin will tag and gets a third. Out number 2.
It's not very often that you see a pitcher run out there and the changeup is the most used pitch. And that's what it is for Sarah Hendiges, who will rely on that changeup the most at 33% of the time. Curveball about 30%, and then her drop ball as well. So Sarah Hendiges, a pitcher who likes to stay more down in the zone and mix that changeup in any count.
2 down, Emily Digby rolls the ball through the left side. She pulls the changeup through the drawn-in infield for an RBI single and a 3-0 lead.
Exactly the start that you wanted if you're a Georgia Bulldog and a fan in this stadium, likely of the home crowd, and you picked it up. Kevin, you knew that that was a changeup. A little bit more up in the zone. Digby swings hard. She notices that that changeup is more up. She's like a little bit out in front of it, but still sees a pitch up, takes a big hack at it for an RBI.
Very kind of you to call me out for identifying pitches.
You were on it.
Well, I've seen a lot of softball before, Amanda. I've been next to you.
Taught you well.
Ball 1 to Marissa Miller. Well, one of the things Tony Baldwin, or Rachel Lawson should say, told us is, you asked her, what does Georgia do that presents problems? Immediately she said, they swing early. They're so aggressive, so we have to command early. Command in the strike zone early. And a first pitch single by Digby gave Georgia that critical third first inning run. All those runs charged to fall. We faced 3 batters, didn't get an out, and they all scored. 2-2 for Miller.
Well, and when you host the SEC tournament, you want to stick around a little bit. I mean, this is a one-and-done tournament, so a lot of pressure rides on every game and every inning if you want to be here for a long time and try to win a championship.
In the dirt, Digby reads it well and takes second.
This pitch just ending up in the dirt. Digby, a good read, noticing that it hit the dirt, was easily going to be able to make it into second as soon as she saw it hit the dirt.
So Miller with a ground ball to shortstop. Cassie Reisner throws her out. Georgia's happy to be home and sleeping in their own beds this week, and they're even happier to be putting up 3 runs to kick off the SEC softball tournament.
There, she leads the team in stolen bases and is by far their fastest player, but it hasn't always been that way. When she first got to Georgia, the metric they used clocked her at about 18 miles an hour. She felt like there was a lot more left in the tank, so over the summer she decided to stay in Athens and specifically train this speed. She's now clocked at 21 miles an hour, and she feels like she's bearing the fruits of that labor, having doubled her stolen base output from a year ago.
And another steal in that first inning, Taylor, and took an extra base on the fielder's choice. So we saw the speed play out right away, which has been such a strength for Georgia this year. As Lily Backus fires a strike to Hallie Mitchell. Also, you hit a ball anywhere near Dallas Goodnight center field, she's probably going to go get it. One of the best defensive outfielders in the country.
That speed helps range. In the alley, she covers a ton of ground in center field.
Bunt foul by Mitchell. 1-2. Marissa Miller was trying to argue that the ball hit her. Should be out. Now, umpires may just talk about it. Bobby DeMeo coming down from third. Oh, it hit the bat on the bounce. Hit the bat, and Mitchell was still in the box. So it should just be strike 2. We'll see what the umpiring crew comes up with.
Yeah, I was going to say the outcome, to me, it would seem like it would be the same, whether it was a foul ball or hit or bat like we saw in the box.
Cameron Ellison again, the plate umpire, with Marty Abzishin and Bobby DeMeo. Well, Rachel Lawson is the only coach getting explanation here, and we're going to get a challenge.
Ruling on the field was the bat was discarded by the batter and hit the ball while over fair territory. The ruling is the batter is out. Kentucky is challenging that ruling. The previous play is under further review.
He said discarded the bat, but when the ball hit the bat, it was still in her hand. So I think that that's what they're going to take a look at. So it bounces up and hits her barrel with her hand still on it. I think maybe this is their
After review, the bat was still in the batter's hand while her feet were still in the batter's box. By rule, that's a foul ball. The call is changed. This is Kentucky's first review of the game.
Yeah, it's the right call. Absolutely.
I appreciate the clarity from Marty as well.
Oh, me too. The clarity is everything when it comes to these reviews.
That's a very unusual play, but the bat was still connected to the batter. And Kentucky's Hallie Mitchell stays alive on the lack of discard. 1-2 from Lily Backus. And she strikes out, so she's retired one pitch later.
When Lily Backus's changeup is on, she is so fun to watch. You see that over-the-top rotation. She takes 10 to 15 miles an hour off of this pitch, and you see where it starts versus where it finishes. That pitch is money for her when it's working.
4 in a row retired by Backus. Maddie Clark shows bunt and takes a strike. The second Oregon State transfer on the roster, along with Hendiges, who came in to relieve Fall in the first. Well, so you mentioned in the first inning, Amanda, the curveball for Lily Backus. They want that pitch at the belt and in, not down and in. Why does Georgia want that ball there?
A lot of it has to do with her changeup so that hitters just don't sit on that pitch. And that's that curveball at a pretty decent location. But that's what Tony Baldwin said to us, is that a lot of it has to do with her location so that that changeup can get set up and they don't just sit on a changeup all day. So he wants that curveball to be a little bit tighter into the righties, to be able to use her changeup like that, low and away.
So curveball, belt high in, changeup low and away. That's the perfect sequence.
And she's able to throw that pitch through the zone, and she can locate it right there on the top of the plate to her catcher, Marissa Miller, who does a good job of blocking that, keeping it in front, and giving Lily Backus the confidence that she can throw that pitch in the dirt, and she's going to stop it.
Ball. Off-speed start to Cassie Reisner for ball one after back-to-back strikeouts on the changeup. 128 strikeouts on the year for Lily Backus, about 130 innings. Ball.
And Tony Baldwin, just going back to Lily Backus's changeup, said that it was getting to a point where her changeup had to be perfect strike or hitters would lay off of it. And everything is set up for that changeup with her curveball like that.
Right center field, easily tracked down by Goodnight. A couple of strikeouts in a 1-2-3 second for Lily Backus. It's the first ever 15-team tournament with Oklahoma and Texas in the league. There's so much made of Oklahoma and Texas joining the league. When we heard the news a couple of years ago about how the league would improve in football and men's and women's basketball, but we here in the softball world knew things were about to get absolutely nutty, and they have. Oklahoma winning the last 4 national championships. Texas, the runner-up, 2 of the last 3 years. And those teams had a tough time in the league, but still managed to come out first and third, respectively. In a league that's so good that Georgia, a top 25 team, is the number 12 seed, and hoping to set up a meeting with Arkansas tomorrow, who certainly is the best 5 seed in the country. Up and down the line, you can say this is the best X seed of any league in the country, pretty much as far as you go.
Well, and it's exhausting for the regular season because you're playing 8 weekends for a 3-game series where you're playing a top 25 opponent back-to-back-to-back days and just having to beat up on each other. I mean, teams get to this point with a beautiful change up there by Hendiges again, but teams get to this point and they're so ready to face another team. This is a setup pitch with a changeup that is a little bit lower in the zone for a changeup that is just basically through the same tunnel. So back-to-back changeups for Hendiges. Beautiful pitch. Still, even though throwing it back-to-back times, gets Castori out in front.
Well, and you noted earlier, Sarah Hendiges throws the changeup more than any other pitch. That's very unusual. How come she has success with a pitch that slow that she throws that frequently? As this one's looped to third, caught by Hutchins.
It's the location that she likes to throw it. You'll notice that the height of the pitch never really gets above knee height. And when you keep your changeup at about knee height or below, get hitters to chase that pitch, it can be a really effective pitch that you can rely on. I mean, you can tell that she has a lot of confidence in that pitch to throw it back-to-back times, throw it in any count. It is her best pitch, and she sells it too. Does not give it away with her motion, her arm speed, her rhythm. Nothing changes when she goes to that changeup. She completely, what we call, she sells it to the hitter. They're thinking that it's going to be something faster.
2-0 to Dallas. Goodnight. Single, stole second, took third on a ground ball right back to the circle, and scored on Jaden Goodwin's double in the first. Goodnight lays down a butt, and Goodnight is retired. Well done by Borzelleri. Maybe the Wildcats' best defender down at first. A 1-2-3 second for Sarah Henniges. Arizona State, Utah to the Big 12. Oklahoma and Texas into the SEC tournament for the first time. But the SEC hasn't had a team in the Women's College World Series Champ Series since 2017, which is hard to believe. They've got a much better shot now. This was the matchup 2 of the last 3 years in the championship series. What do you make, Amanda, of the way OU and Texas adjusted to life in the SEC?
Say they did a pretty good job. Pretty easy peasy, it seems like, finishing first and third in the SEC, in the toughest conference in the country. So, I mean, what OU has done with losing that legacy senior class, winning 4 national championships, and thinking that this was going to be a real rebuilding year, and maybe you can still consider it that it was, but in a rebuilding year with a lot of inexperience and youth, all they did was win the best conference in the country. Incredible what Patty Gasso and her staff has been able to do with that team, and they've just gotten better and better and better with more belief as the season has gone on.
Number 1 seed. Lily Backus misses to Ella Emmert. Folks are probably tired of hearing, boy, this could be Patty Gasso's best coaching job ever, but this year you could make the argument it's among her best work. Certainly in the mix for SEC Coach of the Year. Strike 3. Backus drops one in there right at the knees to Emmert. Lily Backus is cruising.
Again, with the changeup, 4th strikeout of the day for Lily Backus, getting the bottom of the zone. Look at Marissa Miller, that frame job too, getting underneath this pitch, bringing it up just a little bit, sticking it to help Lily Backus get that 4th strikeout.
3 of the last 4 have been struck out, all on that changeup. Strike 1 to Emery Donaldson. How can Kentucky adjust to what they're seeing from Backus?
I would go up looking for that changeup. You know that you're going to get it. I would go down looking down in the zone for that speed. Well, it's a great take right there, but just seeing it up a little bit more than that, and I would go up looking for 56 miles an hour and try to hit it to the right side if you're a right-handed hitter.
Sophomore from Louisville. Donaldson fouls one back. Starting second baseman for much of the year for Kentucky. She's been mainly the center fielder the second half of the year. Madison Clark taking over at second of late.
And we talked about all the offense that Georgia lost, but Kentucky lost a lot of offense as well. They lost 8 of their top 10 hitters. They lost over 50% of their home runs, over 60% of their doubles. A ton of stolen bases they lost. So for both of these teams, they knew at the beginning of the year that they're going to have a lot of youth on their team, a lot of inexperience, and they're going to have to find different ways to win, to work through it, and know that they're going to have some ups and downs in a season.
3-2 for Donaldson has popped up toward right. That ball lands right on the line. A soft single for the 9-hitter, Emery Donaldson.
It just fell in there, didn't it? Just to the inside part of the line. Emery Donaldson from the 9-hole. Ooh, maybe not. From up here originally, I thought that it landed inside the line. But it actually is a little bit more on the foul side. And let's see if it actually touches white. Yeah, it's a fair ball. Great, it's such great work by our crew.
Marty Abzishin, the umpire down at first, was right on it. So the 1 and the 9 hitters were the base hits for the Wildcats.
Back to the top of the order now for the Kentucky Wildcats, the left fielder, number 19,
So second time through the order, we'll start with Allie Blum. Another changeup down and away.
Just letting that pitch be. If you're Kentucky, if you see that that changeup is going to be too low, take it. Either look for that changeup to be a little bit more up and sit on 56, 57, or if you're a right-handed hitter, look for that pitch. But the thing about Lily Backus, and that's that curveball that she wants to throw to right-handed hitters again to set up her changeup. But she's getting that pitch about a ball off the plate to righties. She's really able to expand the zone to her glove side.
Backus' first 2 years with North Carolina, but said she always wanted to be a Bulldog growing up. She's a state champ at Stars Mill High School, about 2 hours away. Graduated high school early. She was a very young pitcher in the ACC at North Carolina. And a 6.41 ERA as a freshman, broke out as a sophomore with a 2.79. Made 33 starts that year, and she's been a workhorse for Georgia. 2-2 fouled away by the freshman Blum.
Well, and Tony Baldwin always says that she needs to get people into swing mode, so that way they're chasing her changeup. Right now you can see that Allie Blum is in swing mode, so likely going to see a changeup coming here, and Lily Backus wants her to chase this pitch down in the zone.
Bounced it. Donaldson on a dirt ball read. Jumps out there and takes second just ahead of Miller's throw.
And if you're Kentucky, you know Lily Backus is going to work that changeup, and you know she's going to want to throw it down in the zone. So when you see it down, get a good jump and take an extra 60 feet. Great job by Donaldson to get in her hand in there safely, reading that changeup down and swiping second.
Wild pitch sends her to second, and Blum fouls away another curve on 3-2.
And when you don't chase that changeup down in the dirt like Allie Blum did with a 2-strike pitch a couple of pitches ago, now you know that you're going to get something a little bit more firm. Going to that curveball over and over and over again. And now Lily Backus is put into a situation, okay, do I want to throw my changeup more up in the zone, even though she's taken that pitch down when I've thrown it in the dirt? I can either go to my curveball again or throw my changeup a little bit more up through the zone.
Ball. She goes back to the changeup, and Blum sees it off the plate. Well, that was a really nice sequence for Blum, fouling off tough pitches, reading the pitch from Backus, and that will bring Peyton Plotz to the plate as a tying run.
That was a professional at bat by Allie Blum, just a freshman.
Kentucky's leading home run hitter. Ball. Takes a high one for ball one. Since the start of April, 9 of Peyton Plott's 14 hits have gone over the fence. Check swing, there's a foul ball.
See that little look on her face, knowing that she just kind of check swing to change up, kind of smiling to herself. Okay.
Couple of all-SEC potential players here, Backus and Plotz, on a 1-1 count. Way too tall. Peyton Plotz had a huge weekend in Austin. Kentucky got swept, but Plotz was 4 for 6, 2 doubles, a homer, 2 walks, and drove in 4. And takes one. A little bit off the plate for Cameron Ellison's liking. It's 3-1.
Know where that missed. It looked like a strike. The unfortunate part for Lily Backus is that it looked like it was supposed to be inside, and it made Marissa Miller reach across her body to the outside corner because she missed her spot.
A 3-1, that's right down the middle. 3-2 for Plotz. A third straight full count from Lily Backus, who's allowed a base hit and a walk to the last 2. Big pitch to a big hitter here in the third. And Plotz waits back on it, hits a one-hopper to second, and Georgia will get only the out at second as Ellison feeds Digby. Hey, coming up this weekend, a huge baseball matchup right here on SEC Network and SEC Network Plus. Arkansas and LSU open a series Friday night at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central. Saturday and Sunday continuing on SEC Network. Chelsea Wilkinson, pitching coach, going to come out and talk to Lily Backus. George will have an infield meeting behind there with runners at first and third, 2 down. And Kentucky's 3-hitter Lauren Borzilleri coming up.
The power of Lauren Borzilleri coming up. Good time for Chelsea Wilkinson to go out and chat with Backus about how they want to approach her. And notice too, they have a base open at second base, but just talking to her about how they want to approach this hitter, being really careful, knowing that they do have a base open.
I feel like Kentucky's starting to see Lily Backus a little bit better in this inning.
I agree with that. It's amazing what second and third time through the order seeing a pitcher, what that can do for your eyes and your timing and your confidence to go up against her. That changeup just well located right at the knees on the outside corner. Lily Backus special.
Junior Borzilleri sees a changeup down and away. What might be the counter adjustment for Backus with Kentucky starting to see the curve in and the change out?
I would continue to throw her changeup the spot that she threw it for the first pitch of the AB.
Jammed her here for a foul ball, strike 2.
So you could tell that she was trying to throw that changeup a little bit lower in the dirt. She was getting some chases. Like, why not keep throwing it there? And if you don't have to bring it up, then you don't. So the counter adjustment is just for her to locate that same pitch in a different spot and throw it for a strike and see if you can get outs that way. Get them swinging at that changeup again.
On 1-2, a little slow roller to third, and Castori held the bag on the throw for Moa Williams. Kentucky strands a pair. Is the headgear of choice here. 2-3-4 for Georgia. And ball 1 to Tyler Ellison. Against Sarah Hendigas to begin the third. Yeah, there are T-Mobile hats everywhere. The ultimate protector from the rays of the sun. Tyler Ellison, a junior, has been one of the real standout players for Georgia this season. After just 34 at-bats her first 2 years, man, it's really been a breakout junior year.
Yeah, Tony Baldwin just raves about her work ethic and how she's gotten stronger physically. Her belief in herself has grown, and a true lesson to younger players, he said, and I like this phrase, to work while you wait. Well, her freshman year, she takes that walk. Her freshman year didn't play at all, but still got the most improved player for the Georgia roster that year. Her sophomore year, she earned a couple of starts, and this year has been in the everyday lineup as a junior. But work while you wait. That's what Tyler Ellison has done. It's what earned her to be an everyday starter, now learning from a lot of veteran players her freshman and sophomore years.
She's out with a leadoff walk as Jaden Goodwin lofts one to left. And Allie Blum's there for the first out. A very aggressive Goodwin retired on a first pitch swing. And now Sarah Gordon. Another player who's shown great year-over-year growth.
You know, she told me, I had a chance to talk to her a few weeks ago, and she told me when she was in high school, her dream was to play in the SEC. That's what she really wanted. But no SEC schools recruited her. Ended up at Louisville, and she played her freshman year with a chip on her shoulder. She said use that as motivation to go out and ball out, and that's what she did as a freshman. Huge impact player on that roster her freshman year, then ends up transferring to Georgia and has a bit of a sophomore slump, but this year redeemed herself, and now she's getting a chance to play in the SEC, which has always been her dream.
Well, Tony Baldwin said there's an aura of coming to this league, and sometimes a player can think they have to do more. They wanted the Sarah Gordon they saw in Louisville, and they've seen her this year.
Ball outside.
So a 2 from Sarah Hendiges. How good does that Louisville team from 2 years ago look, by the way? Sarah Gordon here at Georgia, Corby Otis, one of the stars at Florida, both transfers from Louisville. Slow roller to third. Hutchins will get one. Rachel Lawson, a Kentucky head coach, will join Taylor when we come back. 13-seed Wildcats, who look like they should be an NCAA tournament team. But a 29-25 record win would be really nice to just bolster that resume. By the way, one more SEC tie from that Louisville team 2 years ago, the tutelage of Bryce Neal, who's now the hitting coach at LSU. So LSU, Georgia, and Florida all represented in 2023 Louisville Cardinals. We'll see LSU and Mississippi State in the 8-9 game tomorrow. And Florida, the world's most dangerous 6th seed, will play tomorrow night.
Isn't that the truth?
I mean, not crazy to say Florida's a legitimate national title contender, right? And they're the 6th seed in this league after winning a series against Oklahoma.
And we knew when the regular season started that there were going to be some teams from the SEC that were ranked in the top 20 or the top 10 in the poll that would finish middle of the pack in the SEC. I mean, there's just only room for a couple at the top of the SEC regular season title. Everybody else has to fall in line underneath it. Everybody beating up on everybody.
And this is Georgia's worst finish ever in the SEC, and they've still been a ranked team all throughout the year. Changeup over the knees for a strike. Hendiges runs the count full.
Lindy Ray Davis, I think she's the tallest person that we've seen go up to bat, and she's had the lowest strike calls. 2 of them now, 1 in each of her at bats.
She'll be coming up with a bat extension next time, maybe.
And she has such a good eye too, so you know she's thinking, wait, that's not a strike. I know my strike zone.
Another payoff pitch, and that was a low pitch.
And then it forces her to swing at that pitch. Now, granted, in her eyes, she should have been at first base, but now that lower end of the strike zone is a little bit lower than what she's thinking in her mind, so she has to swing at a pitch like that, even in a full count.
Smart pitching. And it just goes low again. Why not? If you're getting the call, keep peppering it. We'll hear from Rachel Lawson, whose Kentucky Wildcats are on the comeback trail of the 4th. We thank her as well. Wildcats 29-25. They should be good, we think, for a tournament spot because of the RPI of 33, but only 5-22 against the top 25 teams. So scuffling a little bit, Amanda, heading into the postseason.
I've definitely seen worse resumes get into the NCAA tournament than Kentucky's. I feel like with that RPI of 33, their strength of schedule at 11, they're above 500 with their overall record. I think that they're going to be in the NCAA tournament.
So you think it's a 14-bid SEC out of 15 teams?
That's what I'm thinking.
Missouri would be the only one there. Sub 500. You can't make the tournament as an at-large team with a losing record. It's Kentucky's worst overall record since Rachel Lawson's first year in 2008. Just a tough combination of factors here. Very young team, losing Aaron Koffel, some key pieces the last couple of years. Think of the last few Wildcat teams of Stephanie Schoonover in the circle, Kayla Kowalik a couple of years ago. This is a bit of a rebuild for Kentucky, which also has its worst conference record since 2015. And they started strong. They swept Missouri, and then after getting swept at LSU, they beat Ole Miss. So they won 2 of their first 3 SEC series, but have lost the next 5. Final 5 SEC series, Kentucky's gone just 2-13. So they are looking to, frankly, just get better. With a young team, they think there's still a lot of room to grow here in May. Allie Hutchins rips a 2-2 foul.
Yeah, and opening weekend, they had 3 run rule wins, including one against Notre Dame. They had 7 players hit 400 or better on opening weekend. I mean, they got off to a really great start.
Big loss for Kentucky was Mackenzie Bubb, Ohio State transfer, who tore her ACL, out for the season since March 19th. Was hitting .333, .416 on base percentage. 2-2 changeup, a little elevated from Backus, but right into the zone to freeze Hutchins.
I think I love talking about a changeup so much because it wasn't my best pitch. So I really envy all these great changeup pitchers like Lily Backus getting her 5th strikeout. 4 out of 5 have been on her changeup. This one a little bit more up in the zone than what we saw in the earlier one. She can really locate that pitch everywhere in any count.
What does it take to throw that pitch well?
A really good feel and finesse with it. And usually pitchers that are more power pitchers that throw 68, 70 plus miles an hour have a little bit of a difficulty in throwing a changeup consistently. But when you're more of a spin, finesse pitcher, movement pitcher, that changeup tends to come a little bit more easier to you. And see that Lily Backus has truly mastered that pitch out of her hand.
On the ground, there's a base hit for Hallie Mitchell. The senior coming off a nice weekend against Texas with Kentucky's 3rd hit.
And these are the pitches that Rachel Lawson wants Kentucky to swing at. These pitches that are more over the heart of the zone. Look at this pitch location right down the middle of the plate. Doesn't find a corner. Hallie Mitchell recognizes it. She's on time with it. She's not getting fooled with the changeup. She wants something more firm. Recognizes the mistake and barrels it up.
It's the only left-handed batter in Kentucky's lineup today with a 1-out single. So Madison Clark will bat, 1 on and 1 out.
I like the conversation that we had yesterday with Rachel Lawson about leadership with this young team, Kevin, and how their leadership is maybe throughout the season taking a little bit of a hit because they're all just so internal right now.
And Junior Clark flies out to right, front number 2. Tony Baldwin will join Taylor when we come back. Georgia coach who's enjoying a 3-0 lead on his home field right now. Cassie Reisner. Yeah, it is a young group, no doubt. Only returned less than 1/3 of their innings, 18% of their home runs, and Rachel Lawson said, I love the players. They've got a great team-first mentality, but you have to get out of your shell. And there's only so much as a coach you can do with your voice. That player leadership may come over time, but you understand it, you play the game, it can be hard to find that when you're not performing. It can be hard to be somebody who wants to lead others when you don't feel like you are delivering enough. That ball is smoked to left. That's caught by Goodwin. Ranging into foul ground, and Kentucky still searching for it here. They've been shut out through 4.
Jade Goodwin able to cover a lot of ground out there in left field. This is her home turf. The foul lines are not a ton of foul territory. She knows that. Came down with the 3rd out. This game really is so much about feel. Sometimes you get up there and just start overthinking so much. It's so easy to do in all parts of our game, but always great hitting advice from one of the best hitting coaches in the game, Tony Baldwin, who just happens to be their head coach.
Yeah, what is it? You've been around Tony Baldwin a bit here over the years. What is it that makes him such a great teacher of hitting?
I feel like he really gets to know each individual hitter for what they are, even outside of softball, and is just able to relate to them, earn their trust, earn their confidence in him, and then talk about the mechanics and the approach and what the pitch that they want to go and look for. But he just has a great way of communicating to his players because he gets to know them as people first.
14 years in college baseball. He was at Michigan State, Dartmouth, and Butler. And was a volunteer assistant for a couple of years, UNC. Joined UGA after that, associate head coach for 5 years.
Ball outside.
And took over in 2022. This is a nice ballpark to hit into. 190 down into the corners. A little bit shorter than most. Still your 220 to center, but you can get it down the lines here. You can get it up into the trees or up onto the new facility in left field pretty quickly.
The field looks absolutely gorgeous, by the way. There's Lou Harris-Champer spotted behind left field on the porch out in the new facility. This really is the house that Lou built. As Sarah Henniges gets a strikeout. But Lou Harris-Champer was a head coach here for a really long time, and Tony Baldwin gives her a lot of credit for these beautiful facilities that Georgia invested in. I have been in their locker room. It is stunning. That G that's up at the top of the ceiling is absolutely beautiful. They have a weight room attached back there, indoor hitting cages. I mean, that whole hitting facility, or that whole facility behind left field is well over $30 million that was invested right here in the softball facilities.
And this Georgia program feels like that facility being new and right here has really helped with their pregame routine. A lot of priming when it comes to lifting before the game, just better muscle activation. All of the things that Georgia really believes in, they're now able to take to another level. Before it was just on the field with maybe some workout bands, and now they have this state-of-the-art facility that they feels like help them be more game ready come game time, guys.
Yeah, and they call their indoor hitting facility the dog pound. And it's been nice because when you have that right here and it's indoors, you could go and get extra swings. The players can come and go as they want to get extra reps and tee work and pitch to each other. I mean, it's just so nice to be able to have the dog pound and, of course, brand it and name it like the Bulldogs did. But I mean, recovery has been huge. Hot and cold tubs that I know Kevin's going to go get in probably after this game. Hop in the cold tub.
Hot, cold tub 2 minutes, hot tub 2 minutes, on and off. Do that for an hour?
Yeah, an hour. I thought you were going to say 20 minutes.
20 minutes, please. That's some intermediate level stuff right there.
Oh, my goodness.
Hot tub or cold tub? What's the preferred cool down method for you?
I mean, my body's going to want the hot tub, but the necessity is the cold tub. It's always what you don't want to do,
Yeah.
Right? That is actually what you need to do.
You're a cryo kind of gal, I think. There you go. Hot tub, cold tub. Just stick 1 foot in each, you know, get the full experience. Left field, that is a base hit. Emma Castori waited back beautifully on that changeup as Georgia starts to feel a few more pitches.
Castori struck out on a changeup in her first at-bat, gets one that is just up. And that's the difference between Henniges being able to get a strike with that pitch or a swing and miss or a called strike versus it being up in the zone. That up in the zone changeup is really going to put a hitter more into a hitter mode and attack mode, and it is more up in the zone so she can stick with it a little bit longer. And now 2 on for Georgia.
Molly Mitchell in for Marissa Miller, who had a base hit as well. So back-to-back singles out of the 7 and 8 spots. And Moore Williams will bat in the 9th spot. 2 on, 1 out. 3-0 Georgia lead in the 4th. Williams squares to bunt with 1 out. And takes a strike. Oh, looking over at Tony Baldwin for the signs here. Does have 3 sacrifice bunts on the year. And she'll swing away here for strike 2. Freshman who started every game but one for Georgia. Gets her back to that one and lofts it fair inside the line. The pinch runner Mitchell is out at the plate. Cut down by Peyton Plotz from right to keep this a 3-0 game.
Mool Williams gets this outside pitch that is 2 or 3 balls off the plate. I don't even know how she got her barrel to that pitch, but she gets a hit, and Peyton Plotz has Henniges' back as well as Emmert to be able to make the tag. The throw, the movement by Emmert to go grab the ball, and then the tag. What a defensive play by Kentucky, who has not been strong defensively. That's the type of plays that they're capable of, though, when they're on.
Peyton Plott's second outfield assist of the year. That's 2 on and 2 out for Goodnight.
Ball.
It takes ball 2.
Still trying to figure out how Williams got her barrel to that outside pitch. There's 2 balls off at the plate. Just poked it out to right field. Another freshman.
Popped up by Goodnight. This could be trouble. It lands in front of a diving Donaldson. And Georgia will get the 4th run. A little bleeder from Dallas Goodnight.
This is a hitter's count, and Dallas Goodnight is looking to hit, but she just gets all kinds of jammed up with the curveball. Hit it basically off of her hands. Great effort by Emery Donaldson. It just had eyes off of the bat that looked like that hit was going to fall, and it did. And with 2 outs, Castori was going to be running off the swing upon contact.
So a bloop RBI double for Goodnight, and Kentucky will bring in its 3rd pitcher. A great play in right field by Plotz, cut down a run. And then the center fielder Donaldson came up just shy of another. Allie Hutchins is going out to chat with her outfield as Kentucky will bring Sydney Langdon out of the dugout. And Sarah Henniges throws 3 1/3 innings in relief of Carson Fall. 64 pitches. Well, the Wildcats have really had to rely on a whole staff all year. They've not found consistency in the circle, and they go to Langdon in her 2nd year with Kentucky.
And Langdon has really good stuff. Didn't get a lot of time or consistency last year pitching behind Stephanie Schoonover, who graduated. But coming to this year, Rachel Lawson felt like she had become more efficient. Has a high swing and miss rate, but she's become more efficient with her pitch locations. And what Langdon is going to work is their curveball, rise ball, and screw. So she's going to be more of an upspin pitcher, work side to side with her curve and screw, and then up in the zone with her rise ball. Has really good spin, and this is a pitcher who's been working on her changeup, something that she's developing. Still doesn't throw a high percentage yet, but really good spin on her rise ball and upspin.
Tyler Ellison, a fielder's choice and a walk. With a chance to really break this open for Georgia. That one gets away, and Georgia's got 2 runners at 3rd, and Goodnight scampers all the way back to 2nd. She got all the way to the bag before retreating, and Kentucky decided not to chance it. Now here comes Rachel Lawson and talk to Cameron Ellison.
And mind you, Tony Baldwin talked to us about his home field hosting his tournament, and the backstop behind the catcher is not very far behind her, which it ended up hitting off of her glove anyway, so didn't end up getting the backstop. We're so high, I thought it ended up getting back there and bounced off a bit, but didn't get far away from Emmert. But that's just something to notice about this field, is that the backstop is very close back behind the catcher, so there won't be, or it'll be a little bit more risky for runners at third base on a pass ball or a wild pitch to be able to take home.
I think Kentucky's going to make a catching substitution here. One pitch that gets away, and Rachel Lawson goes to the bench for Carissa Hamilton, who has been the regular catcher for part of the year. She primarily catches Sydney Langdon, which Rachel Lawson apparently was reminded of after one pitch got away, and then immediately she takes a foul ball to the mask. So Hamilton in the game for one pitch got drilled in the face mask by that foul ball from Ellison. And she will try to walk it off. I mean, you hope this didn't catch her in a particularly dangerous place, because there's only so much walk it off can do if a foul ball hits you square in the face mask. Rachel Lawson's out to check on her catcher. So Emmert is out of the game after a near wild pitch. And then this happens to Hamilton off the bench.
Happy to see that she's able to stay in this game. I just have no idea what that's like to feel as a catcher. I wish I could describe it.
You heard the "oh" from Cameron Ellison right there, the umpire. Real concern for Hamilton.
Catcher is just such a tough position. They're constantly getting beat up from pitches, foul balls. They're squatted all the time.
Ball.
So just a normal pitch that's normally caught by a catcher for ball two, which was needed after the chaos of the first two to Ellison. Second and third, 2 down, 4-0 game. Ellison a little late on strike 2.
You know, I asked Tyler Ellison who her softball inspiration was growing up, and she said Alex Hugo, one of the Georgia greats. She would go to games and camps here all the time when she was younger. Wanted to play just like Alex Hugo.
Terrific with runners in scoring position this year. Tyler Ellison's got 2 of them out there. Rips one to the screen.
You see, too, that she has an open stance, and I asked her about that open stance, and she said, I have had that open stance for as long as I can remember. It started just as a comfortability thing, and then it just ended up sticking with her for all this time.
A 3-2 is down and out. And Ellison with that open stance draws her second walk. Jaden Goodwin coming up with the bases loaded. For more on Jaden, here's Taylor.
Well, Jaden, I am told, is the goofiest player on the team. That's what Dallas Goodnight told me. She's also the one who came up with the dance you see when these girls hit a double. We saw both Dallas and Jaden herself do the dance earlier, and I'm told this comes from TikTok. So, Kevin, forget the cold plunge. I think we need to get you on some TikTok dances.
Why can't I do both?
Touche.
The TikTok in the cold tub.
TikTok in the cold plunge. There's got to be a market for that. Announcers doing cold plunge TikToks. That's got to be full of untapped potential. Goodwin with the bases loaded. 5 out of 9 this year. 42 RBIs, second only to Sarah Gordon. The former slapper has become a big-time power threat And she drills this ball to left for a base hit. That scores one, and because of the blazing speed of Goodnight, it brings in another. Two-run hits in the game for Jaden Goodwin, who can do another doubles dance.
Both of them line drives, Kevin, off of pitches that were down the zone. One was pulled to right, and this one, she beautifully goes with it to the left side of the field. That is another pitch thrown by Kentucky that is outside, a ball or two off the plate, and still Georgia finding ways to get hits off of these pitches. Tony Baldwin challenged them coming into this half of inning. He pulled them together, rallied the troops, gave them some inspiration, and it is clearly paying off with 3 runs here in this inning.
Now their RBI leader in Gordon. And a Sarah Gordon base hit would put Kentucky in danger of a run rule. It's a 2-run single. Goodwin to second on the throw. She's knocked in 4 today. The top of this Georgia lineup, there's patience, there's power, there's speed. There are some real ingredients here for Georgia to surprise some people. Back-to-back years of the Super Regionals. And that ball is dropped. Hamilton, who just came into the game to catch, dropped a pop-up right on the plate with Ellison crossing behind her, and 2 more runs score.
This is just such a tough play for a catcher. I would have liked to have seen one of the corner infielders call her off, but I think what's going to happen is a potential obstruction from one of the base runners.
The ruling on the field was a fair ball. It's being challenged by Kentucky. The previous play, further review.
Or interference, I should say, from one of the base runners that scored. That's what I noticed. Such a tough play. Look, it just seemed like both of the corners and Langdon as well, nobody called for it and just put it into Carissa Hamilton's hands to make a play, and that's the toughest play for her coming back behind the plate. So there's a little bit of contact there.
Again, that's Tyler Ellison coming down from third.
Maybe not. Maybe it was just an optical illusion.
The other question is fair or foul. Where does the ball touch the glove?
After review, the ruling on the field is upheld. It is a fair ball. That is Kentucky's second and final challenge of the game.
Yeah, from our angle, it did look like a little bit of an optical illusion that when Tyler Ellison ran across the plate that she kind of had touched her just a little bit, but it'd be a fair ball and a couple more runs for Georgia.
So a 5-run inning, and Kentucky, the worst fielding percentage team in the SEC, sees a critical error bring in 2. And now the Wildcats will have to score in the top of the 5th inning or risk a run rule. A 2-run E2. Davis, the 9th batter of this wild 4th inning. And there goes Gordon. And after that ball was in the dirt, another low pitch well read by a Georgia base runner. A wild pitch moves her to second.
Well, and that's what you want to see if you're Tony Baldwin and the Georgia coaching staff, is that you're continuing to put pressure on. You're not taking these runs for granted. You're continuing to play aggressive softball in all parts of the game and take an extra 60 feet like that.
Ball outside.
It's been a tough inning for Hamilton behind the plate, who bounced that last throw.
Ball.
And again, came in after ball 1 was thrown by Sydney Langdon. The reason she came in, Rachel Lawson told us, he likes to have Hamilton catch Langdon. That's just a combination that works well. Got drilled with a line drive in the first pitch, drops a pop-up for a 2-run error. And now an 8-0 Georgia lead as Davis is removed for a pinch runner. Precious Bross is the pinch runner over at first. Now the pressure's on Emily Digby a little bit here, because she started the inning with a strikeout. Nobody wants to be the one to make 2 outs in the 5-run inning.
Oh yeah, this is definitely a pressureful at bat for Emily Digby. You know that you started this inning and you know that you got out, and you don't want to make 2 outs in an inning.
And she's already had a productive day with an RBI single. Started every game at first base a year ago, has started every game but one at shortstop this year. Rather unusual transition that she has handled with a plum.
They do call her tonic water because she just goes well with everything. She just goes with the flow with everything.
It's actually what they put in the cold plunges at Georgia, filled with ice cold tonic water.
Why do I feel like a cold tub with tonic water would be even colder? The bubbles hitting you, I think it would be colder.
It's been a wild 4th inning for Georgia. 8 straight batters have reached. And Digby makes her 2nd out of the inning. Bookend strikeouts, but a whole lot in between, and Georgia can run rule. A 4th inning meeting. Feel the pitch. Don't take the pitch. He didn't want it to stick around at 3-0, and Georgia felt a whole lot. 8-0 lead, looking for their first run rule victory since March 23rd. Winner of this game will face 5th seed Arkansas in Game 2 tomorrow, following LSU and Mississippi State. Coverage will start at 11 a.m. Eastern. So Lily Backus is 3 outs away from a shutout. Backus facing 8-9-1 to try to do it.
Using that curveball into Carissa Hamilton, welcoming into her first at bat with that best pitch that she has been locating well today. And Lily Backus has done a nice job of just coming out strong from pitch 1 in this game. Ready to rock on her home field, throwing her pitches exactly where they need to be, but it has been the curveball to right-handed hitters that has set up everything.
That one hit her, so Hamilton reaches to begin the 5th.
Yeah, and that one hit Carissa Hamilton, but Lily Backus is just trying to get every inch of the inside corner of the right-handed hitters with her curveball that she can. So these are her strikeouts, her rise ball for the first one, and change up for the next 4 after it, getting Kentucky to chase that pitch down in the dirt, as well as take it, thrown at different levels. I mean, strikeouts 2, 3, 4, and 5 were all at different levels with that changeup. It's their 5th straight start with 5+ strikeouts this season.
Longest such streak. Lily Backus on some of her best softball into the postseason after a pretty good weekend against Missouri. Delaney Sullivan comes on as a pinch runner. Again, this is an important run for Kentucky, trying to keep the game alive. If they do not score here in the 5th, Georgia will walk it off via the run rule. This Kentucky bench searching for answers today. Only 3 hits, all singles against Lily Backus. Donaldson shows a bunt, takes down and away.
I just really appreciate when a coach tells us something so specific that in order for Lily Backus to have success, Tony Baldwin told us her curveball to right-handed hitters needs to be belt high. And we've seen Lily Backus do that at bat after at bat. And a curveball to a lot of these right-handed Kentucky hitters. They have all righties in their lineup with the exception of one hitter in Hallie Mitchell. And that curveball has been exactly where it needs to be to set up her changeup and attack hitters.
She really kept the ball down. Not a lot of fly ball contact today. Foul by Donaldson, 2-2.
If I were a team in a regional hosting it as a national seed, I wouldn't want to see Georgia coming to my regional. You talked about that earlier in the game, Kevin. Just a lot of talent, a young team, plays with nothing to lose. That youth and experience, sometimes it can hurt you a little bit, but other times it can be a big blessing. You just go into something with not as high of expectations and years of experience, and we have to do something. You go out there with the mentality that we get to do this together as a team.
2-2 is bounced for ball 3. Well, Georgia's been a national seed and advanced to super regionals the last couple of years. Look, this wouldn't be the first time they made it to supers as an unseeded team either. The ball lands just foul in front of Gordon down the line and right. What about that 2021 year, which was such an oddity? Duke was the host seed, but Georgia, because of an issue with the Duke Stadium, actually hosted as the unseeded team and won. Then went to Florida, swept the 4-seed Gators as that ball lands in basically the same place, and made it all the way to the Women's College World Series.
Well, and this young team has been really close in a lot of games. 8 of their SEC games have been losses that have been by 2 runs or less. So they've been in it. They've faced a ton of rubber matches on Sundays where they had a chance to win the series but couldn't quite come through. But to me, it's just a team that is building confidence to know that we're right there. We're facing tough competition, but we're just so close. And then maybe, just maybe, when we finally face a team in regionals that we haven't seen, we can play our best ball and have our most belief and finally be able to win these close games and finish them.
Trying to finish this at bat. The 10th pitch to Donaldson, who we'll see an 11th. Another 3-2. Another foul ball. Five straight 2-strike pitches have been fouled away by Emory Donaldson.
Always hated this as a pitcher. I'm making good pitches, you're fouling them off, we're having to keep going.
This one will get out of play as well.
It is so frustrating. 14 pitches. I mean, Lily Backus has only thrown 90, but 14 have been in this 1AB. So frustrating.
When will it end? Not now. Just got a piece.
But as a hitter, being in the shoes of a hitter too in these long at bats, you are just fighting to stay alive. Just doing everything that you can to finally wait until maybe she makes a mistake.
And she makes a mistake with a high changeup. So on the 74th pitch of the at-bat, Emory Donaldson walks, and Kentucky puts the 8 and 9 hitters on.
You said 74th pitch, right?
I said 74th pitch. Yeah, 74 to 91 were in that one plate appearance. Here comes Chelsea Wilkinson again.
All right, huge position for Kentucky here. Try to score some runs, extend this game, and they have the top of their lineup coming up. And Allie Blum, another hitter that had a great at bat the last time that she faced Lily Backus back in the 3rd inning.
In 91 pitches twice through the lineup. That's a lot. That's more than 5 pitches per batter. But Kentucky does not have a hit with a runner on base today. 0 for 2 in scoring position, 0 for 7 runners on. Blum took a mighty cut at that first pitch.
Earlier in the year, when Rachel Lawson was talking about Allie Blum, she just said, you know something good can happen when she's on the field. a four-star infielder, play in the outfield. You can put her in the infield. Just such a good athlete. Has some speed.
Blum pops up a bunt. Blum has a base hit and a walk today. Kentucky's down 8. And the question here is, are you just trying to play for one to extend the game or try for a big inning? Ball 1.
And the thing that Coach Lawson said about Allie Blum as well is that it surprised her how good Allie Blum is when she's not very big. So she's really fast, she's really strong, but she's just not big in stature.
First base side, Castori has room. Out number 1. Coming up in between games, we will send you out to our beautiful studio set out in right center field. Courtney Lyle is over there. Tori Vidalis is over there. And your AUSL draft mate, great Haley McClenny's over there as well with some winners. Triple header today.
So with that graphic, it said, you know, Courtney, Tori, and Haley winners on set. And I'm like, yep, they are winners.
They are winners.
All 3 of them winners. And I'm like, oh, okay,
winners.
wait, the winners of the game are going to be on set with them.
Yeah.
So just winners on top of winners.
That's
over
right.
there in studio.
Is that a heart? That's very nice. By the way, Courtney, congratulations, did an amazing job at the Beach Volleyball Championships this past weekend. TCU winning its first national championship. Horned Frogs. 1-1 to Peyton Plotz is low. Again, Kentucky trying to keep the game alive. Backus has had 2 long battles with Plotz today. Struck her out on 5 pitches. Got her to ground into a fielder's choice on 6 pitches.
I mean, think about it. Lily Backus is doing a good job battling with these hitters that are fouling off a ton of pitches against her. It is not easy to do that without eventually locating an accidental mistake over the plate, but just big swings too that Kentucky is taking this last inning, or potential last inning.
Plotz goes down swinging. Up the ladder for Backus to get Georgia to the brink of victory.
6 strikeout on the day for Lily Backus. She just got herself into trouble in this 5th inning with a couple of free passes to start the inning, and then just has bared down with a pop out to first base and then the strikeout with the rise ball for the 2nd out.
Lauren Borzilleri bats. Backus has 6 strikeouts, 4 on the changeup, and the 2 rise ball strikeouts have both been against Plotz. You'll hold Peyton Plotz at bay, good chance you can hold Kentucky at bay. Borzilleri a fly out and a ground out. Swings and lines the ball to center, right at good night. And good night indeed to Kentucky as the Georgia Bulldogs on their home field run rule the Wildcats to open the SEC tournament. Their first run rule win in the tournament in a decade advances Georgia to a tasty matchup with Arkansas tomorrow.
Great start by Lily Backus to set the tone for the first inning of this game. But I'll tell you what, Tony Baldwin and the team meeting that he had before the 5-run inning that Georgia had, they had kind of lulled themselves to sleep in the 2nd and the 3rd. He woke them up. They scored 5 runs.